Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to the top 10 greatest country singers of all time. Now, a few weeks back, I reacted to the top 10 greatest country songs of all time, and I'm no country expert. You know, I've only really started listening to the genre since I started this channel, but based on what my dad tells me, I fully expected to see Dolly Parton on that list. You know, she's someone who you don't really need an introduction. Like, she's been around for what, 50 years, countless number ones, humongous legacy, sold probably tens of millions of albums. I fully expected to see her on that list, or at least to see one of her songs on that list. But yeah, to see her not there was a real shock to me. So I'm expecting to see her on this list, to be fair. If I don't, then maybe I kind of have to rethink, you know, country music and maybe her impact on it. Maybe her impact wasn't as big as I thought it was. But yeah, I'm interested just to learn about the genre. I've started listening to it, and I do like it. So I want to learn more, you know, learn about the legends, the people that have made it what it is, you know, like into this behemoth of a genre. So yeah, this is going to be a fun video. Let's do it.
Top 10 country singers of all time. Everyone has their own taste in music, while every genre is unique and touches your soul. However, country songs are something that, if not everyone, then at least 70% of the population enjoys. A beat that makes you stand on your feet and show,
especially North Americans, but I do think there's probably quite a few country fans in the UK.
Off those unique moves. A blessing on long road trips. A way to say goodbye to all the worries and let your body go loose. However, choosing the best singer who wins our hearts every time is a tough call. But after extensive research, we have shortlisted the top 10 country singers of all time.
Okay.
This is the ABC, and if you want to know who those legends are, then stay tuned till the end of the video. Before you watch the video, please like, subscribe, and share this video as much as you can.
I'm guessing Johnny Cash will probably be number one. We might see Dolly Parton. Who else?
Also, don't forget to hit the blue button to stay up to date with all of our latest videos. Number 10. Loretta Lynn.
I've heard of
Loretta Lynn, the icon, cut her first album in 1960 and has enjoyed a career that went on over a time period of over 50 years.
Wow.
Often recalled as the queen of country music by the public, and for good reason. She was one of the first female singers ever who wrote songs that focused on serious issues concerning the general public. Songs that spoke directly to blue-collar women and expressed her support and love for them. From cheating husbands to birth control, from losing a loved one to being widowed during the Vietnam War, her songs talked about every problem that was never addressed before in such a way. Loretta even famously chose Sissy Spacek to portray her in Coal Miner's Daughter, which would eventually earn Spacek the Best Actress Academy Award.
Nice.
An icon, a talented woman, and one of the best country singers of all time. This was Loretta Lynn. Number 9. Waylon Jennings. This is no ordinary singer. Waylon Jennings was one of those who famously fought back against the restrictions of country music in the early 70s.
What kind of restrictions did country music face back then? I'm guessing, you couldn't sing in a certain type of way. I'm guessing you couldn't dress in a certain type of way, just a lot more rigid. Like, what were the restrictions?
He is best known as one of the founding pioneers of the outlaw movement. He put in all of his efforts to produce something exotic, something he felt was less formulaic and more genuine to who he was as a person.
I see.
A genre that doesn't only satisfy the industry's needs, but allows him to express himself freely at the same time. His extremely famous single, Ladies Love Outlaws, is most often credited for providing the subgenre outlaw country with an official name. In fact, Waylon Jennings was so defiant that in 2001 he even skipped out on his own induction ceremony into the Country Music Hall of Fame.
No way.
A legend right here. Number 8.
I mean, first of all, why wouldn't he attend his own induction? Like, a lot of people, that's the pinnacle of their career. And second of all, yeah, when you've got a whole subgenre named after one of your songs, you know you've left a big impact on the scene.
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson, yeah.
Here, what we have
guy
is another outlaw of country music, the one and only Willie Nelson, an American musician, actor, and activist. Just like many of the other early outlaws, the beginning of Willie's career was pretty traditional. It was all about wearing suits and ties, performing on stage, attending big parties. However, he soon gave all that out in favor of his trademark long braided hair and he began mixing jazz, blues, pop, and rock into his country music. This, plus his laid-back persona, turned him into a country music icon. The critical success of the album Shotgun Willie,
Wow, that guitar looks beaten up, man. Holes in it. Wow, you can tell he's probably had this thing for years, long time.
Shotgun Willie, 1973, combined with the critical and commercial success of Red-Headed Stranger, 1975, and Stardust, 1978, made Nelson one of the most recognized artists in country music. Number 7. George Jones.
Does anyone have a story of that guitar? Like, I'm intrigued, because he could easily have, something amazing to replace it. But, I kind of like the fact that he, still owns this beat up guitar. That thing must be probably worth millions, right?
Considered as the country music powerhouse for over 5 decades, next on the list we have George Jones, who is known as the best country singer by everyone around the globe. He achieved international fame for his long list of hit records, including his best-known song, He Stopped Loving Her Today, as well as his distinctive voice and phrasing. In fact, for the last 20 years of his life, he was referred to as the greatest living country singer.
Wow.
Even Waylon Jennings famously once said, "If we all could sound like we wanted to, we'd all sound like George Jones." While many other country music stars, some even on this list, flirted with other genres, George Jones remained loyal to country and never tried to produce mainstream music. If you want to know what country music purely sounds like, go ahead and listen to George Jones. Number 6.
I think, hey,
Dolly
there
Parton.
she is. There she is. She finally gets some respect. Yeah, I definitely need to. What I'm going to do is after this, or maybe what I'll do is like pick a song, the best or most well-known song from each of these artists, and react to it just to get a real feel for it. But yeah, I'm glad to see Dolly Parton on this list. I felt like she had to be.
Does this name even need any kind of explanation for its presence on the list? This woman is something we would call an all-in-one package. Other than the fact that she is the writer behind some of the most iconic songs of all time, like Jolene or I Will Always Love You, she was also one of the first female singers to successfully transition into acting, even earning Golden Globe nominations for 9 to 5 and The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. She falls under the categories of an American singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, record producer, actress, author, businesswoman, and humanitarian all at the same time.
Yeah, I've heard she does this thing where she donates, like any child who wants a book can like write to her charity, and the charity will buy that book for the kid. Like, I've heard that she's donated like millions and millions of books over the years, which is an amazing thing. Probably helped boost literacy.
To add to that, she's even got a theme park named after her.
Does she?
She's definitely a certified country royalty. Number 5.
Nice.
George Strait. George Strait, a working man's favorite country singer, or may we say icon. An American country music singer, songwriter, actor, and music producer, George Strait is known as the King of Country, and is considered one of the most influential and popular recording artists of all time. While he didn't really break down any musical barriers, George Strait is the epitome of knowing your audience and giving them exactly what they want to hear. As if you needed proof, he's had more number 1 singles out of anyone on this list, and even took the lead role in 1992's Pure Country, which many country fans consider somewhat of a cult classic today. Number 4. Hank Williams. A melodious singer that forced the audience to get on their feet. Hank Williams could not stay with us for long enough to bless our ears for a long time.
Yeah, I think he died young, didn't he?
Unfortunately, due to his alcoholism and use of prescription drugs, he died at an early age of 29. So when you think about it, it's pretty shocking that his entire recording career only lasted 5 years.
Wow.
This is a very valid proof of his talent that went viral in just 5 years. Imagine how far he would go if he survived long enough. Williams recorded 35 singles, 5 released posthumously, that reached the top 10 of the Billboard Country and Western bestsellers chart, including 11 that ranked number 1. His sound influenced country music forever, and even his son and grandson have enjoyed successful country music careers of their own.
Nice.
Number 3.
It's crazy, though, that he's only been, he died at 29 and he left a legacy. It's crazy. And also, has anyone noticed this trend of, artists dying and the record labels releasing, like, albums many years, like, after their death? I guess it's good for their families and stuff, but it's a bit weird, isn't it, seeing music released from someone who's passed away? But I guess, if nobody has a problem with it.
Merle Haggard. Mr. Haggard was the very definition of the working class man who sang songs just to those who understood him. His early life wasn't exactly a beautiful dream. Merle spent a good amount of time in prison for a number of crimes he committed, like theft and larceny. However, soon he managed to flip his life 180 degrees through his music.
Nice.
His voice and the way he played guitar gave his sound a hard edge with a bluesy style that's been credited with creating the Bakersfield sound, a stark contrast from the more polished Nashville sound at the time. He gained popularity with his songs about the working class that occasionally contained themes contrary to the prevailing anti-Vietnam War sentiment of much popular music of the time. His songs hit the top 10s on the billboards and made his life turn upside down. Number 2. Garth Brooks. One of the most controversial topics among country music fans, Garth can be a subject of a very hot debate, but nobody can deny that he's one of the best of all time. For better or worse, Garth Brooks changed country music from what it was to what it currently is. He blended country with folk rock, and his giant concerts were no less than any other mainstream artists. Perhaps most impressive is the fact that Garth Brooks eclipsed country and is the only artist in history to release 7 albums that reached diamond status.
Nice.
To put that into perspective, the only band that's come even close to touching Garth in album sales is the freaking Beatles.
Wow.
Number 1. Johnny Cash.
Yep.
Who is the best country singer of all time?
Thought so.
Without even a single speck of doubt, it has to be none other than Johnny Cash. His rebelliousness, his deep voice, and a sound that was influenced by rock, gospel, folk, and blues led to a perfect musical storm that turned him into an icon. Having sold more than 90 million records worldwide, Cash even made a comeback later in life and covered Hurt and Personal Jesus to critical acclaim. It's this kind of crossover appeal that led to him becoming one of the few artists to earn a spot in both the country music and the rock and roll halls of fame. A self-made singer who faced different challenges of life and earned a position in everyone's hearts. These were the top 10 country singers of all time, according to our research. You may think otherwise, and if you do, then don't hesitate to let us know who you think is the best in the comment box.
As someone who's new to the genre, I probably agree with this list. In the other video that I reacted to, the top 10 country songs of all time, Dolly Parton's admission was huge for me because, I'm someone who, has only recently started listening to country. However, she's referenced so much in the mainstream, to be honest, way more than any of these other artists, in my opinion, just from what I've seen, that she has to be, in a top 10 list. So to see her at number 6, it might be number 6 or number 5, completely warranted. Yeah, would you guys agree with this list? Let me know. I'm eager to know your thoughts because you guys probably know way more than I do. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.